the 19th century, the erection and placement of monuments commemorating Ukraine's past have been an integral part of competing processes. That is, both the process of the affirmation of distinct Ukrainian nationhood and of attempts to integrate Ukraine into Russian history. Such a, quote, war of monuments, end quote, continues still today. In this battle, the Russian government has attempted to use monuments to claim the legacy of the medieval Kievan Rus state for Russia, and thus to negate the narrative of independent Ukraine. On November 4th, a monument to Grand Prince Volodymyr the Great of Kyiv was unveiled in Moscow, near the Kremlin. During the unveiling ceremony, which took place on Russian Unity Day, Russian President Vladimir Putin presented his interpretation of history, saying that Volodymyr was, quote, the spiritual founder of the Russian state, end quote. Such statements are consistent with his policy to promote the idea of a single Russian world, or Ruski Mir, that includes not only Russia, but also Ukraine and Belarus, the center of which is Moscow. In actuality, Prince Volodymyr the Great was the ruler in Kyiv in what later became present-day Ukraine in the 10th and 11th centuries, when Moscow did not yet exist. Also, the Christianity introduced by Volodymyr to Kyiv and Ukraine did not spread to the northern lands around what is present-day Moscow during Volodymyr's lifetime. Nonetheless, the new monument to Volodymyr the Great in Moscow is intended to promote the idea of Kievan Rus as part of the spiritual history of Russia, and has been erected in competition with a well-known monument of Volodymyr, built back in 1853 in Kyiv, the city where Volodymyr actually lived and ruled. On November 10th, a monument was unveiled in Kyiv, which shows the intention of the Kyiv municipal government and the Ukrainian intelligentsia to emphasize the European links and legacy of the medieval Kievan state, and thus of Kyiv and Ukraine. The new monument is to Princess Anna Yaroslavna, the daughter of Yaroslav the Wise and granddaughter of Volodymyr the Great. She was born and grew up in Kyiv, and later became Queen of France, and the foremother of some mighty European royal dynasties. Important for the builders of this monument was to convey authenticity and historical truth, and thus Anna is shown as a little girl, such as she was when she lived in Kyiv and was an integral part of that world. A more modest but no less meaningful attempt to preserve Ukrainian historical memory was made on September 21st in the city of Holm, or Chelm, in Poland. There, in the yard of the Church of St. John the Theologian, a cross was erected in the memory of the prominent Ukrainian historian and head of the first modern independent Ukrainian state, Mikhailo Hrushevsky. Hrushevsky was born in Holm and was baptized in that very church. This monument was built by the Ukrainian community of Poland and stands for the historical truth of the Ukrainian past of Holm, which was founded by the Ukrainian king Danilo Romanovich of Halich in 1237 and was, up until the time of the Second World War, a vibrant center of Ukrainian culture. I'm Tania Stech, and this was Ukraine in a News.
Канал 1+1 тепер доступний на Bell International Programming.